Here we go again. Welcome once again to Face the Camera. It's Tuesday afternoon, and today I am going to talk about the 5 lessons that I've been learning for video from the world of podcasting. And I just want to entreat you to tune in and join me here today, because all the kind of content marketing that I see video creators doing is often fairly random. And over the last 6 to 8 months, I've really been taking this deep dive into the world of podcasting, and there is so much there that we can learn from. And how to make our videos better, how to show up better, how to stand out from the field of other people doing the same kinds of things. So this is what we're talking about today. And the best thing that I have to share is this amazing resource of over 40, count them, 40 trainings all about podcasting. And I will let you know how to get a hold of that resource in this video. So welcome. If you're here, say hello. Let me know you're here and where you're from. I'd love to see where everybody's tuning in from today. So here we go. Let me just click off the sound effects. I'm in my new studio today. How do you like it? This is a whole new setup. I'm not sure it's the total thing, but I kind of love the background. This door is a wooden door that was probably made in the 1800s or something like that. I'm not sure. This building used to be a piano making factory, and it's got these gigantic wooden beams in the ceiling and brick walls with arched doorways. It's this really beautiful space. So I thought it might be a great setting for my show. And I'm noticing that it's a little bit echoey in this room. So the next time I'm in here, I might try and bring some blankets or something to cut out the echo, but we'll see. Everything is an experiment. We're constantly growing, right? So I am talking about how can you make your videos better by studying what podcasters do. And I've got 5 lessons to share, and I'm going to dive right in and start sharing these with you. So let me get this over here. And lesson number 1 is audio. And this should be obvious. Like if you're looking at podcasting, it's the main thing that's going on. Podcasting is an audio form of media. And however, it applies so directly to your video making and your video production. Because if your audio is bad, if there's something going on with your audio that people don't like, or if there's, lots of noise in the background, or if it's all like just really poor quality, like echoey or scratchy, or it's not loud enough, or just the quality of your audio is just really crummy, people won't stay. They won't stay and listen to you. And the truth of the matter is, for video, if your audio is bad, you'll start losing people way sooner and much more than if your video is bad, but your audio is good. So this is something that a lot of people making video don't really think about too much, and they don't pay too much attention to. But it's so important. So get yourself a good microphone. This is the Samson Q2U. And I can take this microphone and I can plug it directly into my computer, and that's it. It's very simple to set up, and it sounds a whole lot better than the average microphone, certainly better than the microphone that's built into my laptop, and way better than the microphone that's built into the camera that I'm using today. So this is thing number one. And along with, your sound, you're going to want a way to listen that doesn't make you look kind of weird. And I've been seeing a number of people, like you'll see, the typical thing with podcasters is they'll wear, that could be a good look, but when you're doing video and you're wanting to present yourself and you're wanting to look like a normal human being, wearing big, huge headphones may not be the best look for you. And if you're a woman and you're worried about your hair and all that kind of thing, which I know is really true for practically every woman I know who makes video, putting on headphones is going to wreck that hairstyle that you've been working so hard on. So what I see a lot of people doing right now is they wear earbuds or those little white ear pods that kind of stick out at an angle. And I even see fairly well-known newscasters doing this. They're wearing these ear pods and they look a little bit like they just landed from Mars. So, if you're doing something like you're interviewing someone or you're on a Zoom call or you have a panel discussion going, you're going to need to be able to hear, but you don't want to look like you're wearing something kind of weird and you have little things sticking out of your ears. So what I use are these. I'll just take one off here. You probably couldn't tell that I was even wearing them, but I wear these cute little, practically invisible earbuds that wrap around your ear so that when you put them on, you can take the wire and put it around behind you like this, and then they basically curl around your ear and then just plug in like this. And now, if I were interviewing someone, or if I was talking to the audience and I wanted to hear them talking back in some way, I could hear everything. And visually, you can't tell that I have a headset on. And so this is something that I use all the time, and it's very much like what the professionals use. And these were not expensive. I think these cost around $24, which is, very similar to what a good pair of earbuds will cost you. So good microphone, good hidden headset, and you're all set for audio. How about that? So I'm just going to, let's see now, what did I do? I can't see anything because I did something with my glasses. Where did I put them? That's so funny. Did I drop them on the floor? Oh gosh. Oh no, here they are. Right, now I can see what's going on. So I want to see who's here. Cool. Hey, Lindsay. Great to see you. All the way from California. And she says, camera is a tiny bit blurry, but the background and light is great. Need a bit more light on the right side. Yeah, this lighting is, I'm using basically 1-point light. So you can see my light is here. It's shining on my hand. And then over here on this side, there's shadow. And in this setting, it might be a good idea to have a second fill light for my face. So next time, I'll be doing that. And you're right, the camera's a little bit blurry. I think I've got an issue with the connection, which is not streaming as solidly as I would like to. So we will work on that one. Look, it's Joe in Middleborough. Hey. And he says, we're going live with Foodaholic this Thursday. Congratulations, man. I can't wait to see it. So any of you guys who are Foodaholics, go check out Joe's show, The Foodaholics. And he's broadcasting the first episode later this week. That's so great. And got a question here. What are your clear earbuds called on Amazon? I don't know the name of these, but I have a whole kit that has like my whole listing of basically what I use to go live, and this is included. So if you're interested in getting that kit, just say, I want the kit, and I'll reply and I'll send you a link where that's listed. So you can go get it. Let's see what other questions we got here. I think that's it. We're at the bottom. Okay, so let's go back to number 2. Number 2, consistency. Number 2 lesson from podcasting world is the consistency that podcasters have for their audience. Basically, a podcast is a show. It's basically a radio show that you can download to your phone and your mobile device and then listen to whenever you want, which is kind of the cool thing and wonderful thing about podcasting. And podcasters have a schedule. They are super consistent. So whatever show it is, if they're doing once a week, they always drop their show on the same time, the same day, every week, week after week after week. And what does this do for them? Well, first of all, it trains their audience that this is happening and this is when you can get it. So their audience will be showing up to capture and consume that content, and they have something to look forward to. So if you're like me, you have a set of podcasts that you like to listen to on any day of the week. So like I get up every single morning and I ride my bike on the bike trail between where I live all the way down to Lexington, which is about a 4.5-mile bike ride. And when I'm doing that, I'm listening to my favorite show of the day. And on Monday, there's 1 or 2 shows that arrive in my mobile device that day. And then on Tuesday, there's a couple other shows. And then on Wednesday, there's a couple other shows. And so each day, I know which show I can tune into. And like all the other members of the audience, if for some reason the podcaster were to miss a day, I'd be like, hey, where's the show? So I have these things that I look forward to and I count on. And, you can imagine, like, let's say you're going to the gym and you're working out and you want to listen to a podcast while you're riding your stationary bike or you're running on the treadmill. And if that show was missing, you would be disappointed. You'd be like, now what do I do? I have to work out without my favorite show. This is a disaster. And this is exactly what you want your audience to be thinking about your live video production. You want to show up every week, same time. And if it's a live video, it's so much better than the podcast because people can join you live, just like you guys are joining me live right now, and we can interact and talk. And I can be giving you something to look forward to when we meet again next week, when we have another discussion, when we take this whole journey of going, on the voyage to making better video together. And next week I can tell you new things to do and so on and so forth. So consistency, it's super important. And if you don't show up regularly, then people won't have any idea of where to find you or when to be there. And when it's live video, it's really important that you train your audience to meet you at the time that you're going live. So this one is a big one. Now, number 3. Number 3 is, I just basically alluded to it. Oh, wait, hang on. This is number 5. I want this one. Interviews. Lesson number 3 is interviews. So you can be talking with your guests when you're doing your video. And this is something that podcasters are doing all the time. And there's several things that are really good about why you should be doing interviews and why you should have guests joining you on the show. Number 1, it doesn't have to be just you all by yourself. And you will see that in the very near future, I'm going to be having more guests on my show. And in fact, I've just got a new sponsor. Big announcement. Restream, which is the tool that I use to multicast to all the different places that I'm going to right now. Like I'm broadcasting on Facebook to my business page, to my Facebook group, Video Creators Lab, directly to my profile, but I'm also streaming onto LinkedIn and onto YouTube and onto Twitter. So I can broadcast to all these different places at the same time using Restream. And great news! Restream has reached out to me and agreed to be my sponsor. And I'm actually creating a new show just for them. And that show will be coming on air in just a week or two. And it's going to be an interview show. So every week, once per week, I will have a new guest and we'll be talking all about some of the best practices and learning lessons from some of the people who are really pushing the envelope of live streaming and doing live video and how it's done. And so you'll have a chance to learn from the very best. And I'm excited about that because the format of that show is that I'm going to play video clips from the videos that these creators have been doing. So I'll invite them on, we'll introduce the topic, and then I'll play a clip from some video that they've made, and then we'll kind of break it down and talk about what works in that particular clip. And then we'll go on to clip number 2. So it's going to be kind of a video review show. And I think it's going to be really fun to do. Like we're going to be able to see and explore some of the very best live streaming and live video making that exists in this moment in time. So stay tuned for that. And the thing about doing interviews like this is that, first of all, in the process of bringing people on, you are really growing your network. It's one of the very best ways that anyone can grow their network out into the world. And if you're looking for, let's say, getting new clients and attracting clients to your world, this is a great, great way to do it. Because first of all, every single guest you invite on either has an audience which has a bunch of people who could become your client, or they themselves could be a client of yours. In fact, it's a really good way to choose your guests. Like you can pick the kind of person who might be the ideal client and you invite them on and you make them look good and you help promote them and their business and the thing that they do. And maybe you even get into a place where you're, helping them out through some kind of coaching thing. But whatever you do with them, basically it's a service to them. And there's almost no better way to reach out and meet somebody who you're thinking you'd like to meet and have become a client than to reach out and say, hey, how would you like to be on my show? So, so different than cold calling and saying, hey, how would you like to be my client? So you'll find people very receptive to meeting you and coming on your show. And you'll have this chance to talk with them for half an hour or 45 minutes or however long your show goes for. And this is a really wonderful way to kind of break the ice and have them get to know you and build rapport with these particular individuals. The other thing that you can do is you can be live streaming with current and past clients. which is another really great way to grow your network and grow your influence, because all of your current and past clients, if you invite them on and you're making them look good, a couple of things are going to happen. One is basically you can have them literally be sort of telling a testimonial story right there on the spot during your live stream. And if they're going live with you, they're going to share that stream. They're going to tell everybody they know, hey, look, I was on this show, go watch it. And so their friends, who are people just like them, are going to watch all of this, and they're going to meet you for the first time. And many of them are also potential clients. So this whole interviewing strategy is a really smart thing that podcasters do, and they use it in the way that I'm describing. And so you should too. So even though some of the time you may want to be doing solo live streams, just like I'm doing now, you also want to seriously consider interviewing and doing a series of interviews, because it has huge, huge benefits. And of course, the other thing is that it takes the burden off of you. Doing interviews in many ways is a little bit easier than doing a solo stream, because all you need to do is ask good questions and say things to the guest that are making them look good. And you can, if you're using a tool like I'm using here, Restream, you can actually put the camera on them, have them be talking full screen, and then you're not even on camera. So lots of good reasons to do interviews. So I'm going to go back into the chat, see what we got going in here. Right. All right. Thanks for the mic recommendation. Yeah, this microphone, I think it's a great one. The Samson Q2U. This is one of the affordable microphones. I think you can buy this microphone for around $75, somewhere in that price range. So if you know anything about microphones, that's actually a really good value for the kind of sound that you're likely to get. And yeah, so moving right on here, we are on lesson number 4, which is all about platform. So this is the podcasting world. When people are creating a podcast, what they're really creating is a platform, their own platform for getting their message out. And this is powerful. Different than the different kinds of content marketing that you do. Like when you're on Instagram and when you're on LinkedIn and when you're on these various social media places, you are using somebody else's platform to, get your message out. But when you have a podcast, you're literally creating your own platform, and people are joining you on this show that you have created. And this is where you want to take your live streamings. You want to treat it like a show. You want to treat it like your platform. So when you compare it to some of the other video creators like Gary Vaynerchuk, who has regular series of things where it's like Ask Gary V. and the Gary Vaynerchuk show, like those kinds of things, the video creation that he does, it's very much a regular piece of content, and it is his platform. Someone like Marie Forleo, who has really elevated her status as a video creator. She goes live 2 times a week, and well, it's actually not live video, but she produces video twice a week, and it is her platform. She calls it Marie TV, and it is basically alternating between a talk show where she has a guest 1 time a week and a solo presentation where she's giving quick tips on how to grow your business in one way or another once a week. And this has been going on for a long time. And then, of course, she takes those videos and she puts them onto her own website and is constantly reminding people, if you really want to join the conversation and get in on sort of all the discussion around each video, you want to go to her site, so that you can be there to leave your comments, etc. And these are platforms that are highly established. Someone like Lewis Howes, who has a regular video podcast, he calls his thing the School of Greatness. And he's often interviewing people and bringing on really well-known guests. And this is Lewis's platform. And now there's many, many thought leaders from all over the place, all kinds of entrepreneurs who want to be on his show. They see it as a privilege to be on his show. And this is the status that you want to create for yourself and for your video making, so that anyone who's out there will be thinking, number one, I need to tune into this show because it's going to be really helpful for me. And number two, if they're any kind of thought leader, they're going to want to be on your show. And they're going to want to join you and be there. And this is one of the goals that you want to establish for yourself, is to create a platform. Because once you have created a platform, there's all kinds of good things that can happen to you, whether it's new forms of revenue, whether it's rapidly expanding your network, whether it's reaching, a much greater size audience, and just the myriad of different ways then you can monetize the video making that you're doing. Number 4. Number 5 coming up. And I turned this one on by accident, but we're going to go back to it right now. There it is. It's the journey. So what do I mean by this? When you're doing a show like this, you are literally taking people on a journey. And this is the very best podcasters do this really well. Their whole show is about a journey. It's about where are we going with this show? And the best shows will create a season, and that season will have a theme. And when you join the season, you know that in this season, we're going to learn about this thing. We're going to go and get this result. We're going to, start from point A and we're going to go all the way to point B. And each episode, each segment that gets produced is a milestone along the journey. And when you're putting your show, when you're putting your live streams in the context of a journey, you can create these milestones which give people a reason to tune in, to give people a reason to binge watch the whole thing. So that if you had an archive of one of your past seasons, people could go in there and they could, binge the whole thing to get to the destination that they want to get to. So you can be creating a show that's based on, let's go on this journey. Let's go discover this thing. Let's go find out the answer to this question. Let's go see if we can win at the game of you fill in the blank. Any of those things are really good subjects and themes for a series or a season that you might want to produce. And when you're putting your videos and putting them into this kind of context, this is something that will really engage people. So beyond just simply getting their attention, now you're moving your whole audience into a place of them wanting to stay until the end. And this is really, really powerful. So it's the kind of thing that you really want to be looking out for. And, oh, look at this. Somebody just commented. So we're going back to, I guess this is the microphone. And $82 with a ring light. Well, that's a good deal. That's so great. Yeah, right. You could get not only the microphone and a ring light. Such a deal. All right, so I promised you that I was going to tell you about this resource that is something that I'm involved with this week. And it is this really cool bundle of trainings that a friend of mine, a guy named Dan, has put together. And what he's done is he's gathered together all of these experts in the world of podcasting. And there are more than 40 of them, and they have all contributed a training. And so there are over 40 trainings, and this is not an online summit. This is not something that you have to come and show up live for. This is just a collection of trainings that you can access, and anyone that you want to do. You don't have to do them all, but any out of the 40 that you decide you want to do, you can access them all, and you can watch them or participate in them on your own time. And the only caveat is that this bundle is only available this week. So it's between now and Friday that you can go and get this bundle. It's called the Podcaster's Kit. So if you're interested in learning from podcasters and making your videos better, this would be a good thing to go get. If you're interested in doing a podcast and you haven't done a podcast yet, this is a good thing to go get. If you have a podcast and you want to make it a whole lot better, this is a good thing to go and get. Now, my contribution, the training that I'm doing, is called How to Supercharge Your Podcast. No, sorry. Yes, How to Supercharge Your Podcast with Video. So I'm basically talking about how to take anything that you're doing in terms of a regular show, like a podcast, and how to turn it into a video podcast, which is a lot of what I talk about right here. But I'm going to do this live training. This is an exclusive live training that will be only available to the people who access the Podcaster's Kit. And in the comments, you can see down below that I have put the link to the kit, and there's a link there. You can go get it. Now, this is, all these trainings together, like each one would be sold for hundreds of dollars, $300, $500, I don't know, different price points, which means that the whole thing together, 40 trainings, would cost a few $1,000s. But this whole thing is this week available. I think it's $39. I think that's the right price, or it's $29 or something like that. It's one of those two, but it's really, really inexpensive. And normally, like every month, I offer a paid masterclass, which I usually charge this amount just for my training. So here's an opportunity to get not only my training, but 40 other trainings for this same amount. So you can just go check it out. It's available at the link that is immediately below this video in the comments. And yeah, go take a look. You'll just see all the different trainees that are trainers that are listed there. And you'll get information on how to go into the Podcaster's Kit. So that was what I wanted to run into for you today. I am going live again on Thursday. This Thursday, it'll be at a later time, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Eastern time. 4 p.m. Eastern time. And so Thursday, 2 days from now, Face the Camera is going live again. I really appreciate all of you guys who are here. I'm going to take one last look at the chat, just see who else is here, and see if I missed any questions. I love it when you guys are talking and posting and so forth. And yeah, looks like we're good. So it's just now past the half hour. So I'm going to say so long and tune in on Thursday. Go and get the Podcaster's Kit. It's an amazing value. I'm really happy that I've been able to be part of this thing. There's some really, really great people who are also part of this thing. And, all things are true. Like if you want to learn from the world of podcasting to make your videos better, this is a terrific resource. If you've ever been thinking about making a podcast for yourself, it's a terrific resource. And even if you have a podcast already, and I'm sure there's some trainings in here that can help you make your podcast even better. So that's what I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. And I will see you next time. So long.